Hey, is this fake?
Still
They've added these changes. They did buff the disruptor, but it's not. The tooltip isn't changed. It still says,
that we ran it
is
like
that
this.
radius increased from 1.2 to 2.5?
Dude,
Dude, it's
I'm never gonna
tremendous.
complain, guys, about a patch in the middle of a tournament.
It's
Especially not like a small online
tremendous.
cup. We're obviously trying to make it fun, but in the end of the day, online cups are not the most important thing in the scene. What is a lot more important is that they care, that they give us attention, that they give us love. So apparently, these are the updates.
All right, boys and girls, let's do some YouTubey. Let's do some YouTubey. Guys, they've made an update to the PTR. After the initial very negative reaction to the PTR changes, which were just a bunch of Zerg and Terran buffs and Protoss getting absolutely slaughtered, we have some changes. The Spire is going to get the same treatment, but it's going to build 5 seconds faster. I feel like this is weird. I don't know. I talked about this already with a game that I played earlier today where it's very difficult to scout if the Zerg player is making a sneaky Spire transition. And surprise mutalisks in the mid game create some very like gimmicky wins and losses for both players where haha, you did not scout my Spire and now there are 12 mutalisks in your main base and you are losing the game instantly because you didn't produce phoenixes, right? This is probably like a change that's pointed at late game. Make the Spire cheaper, make it faster to build so that Zerg players can get anti-air units with the Corruptor faster, right? That's probably what this is pointed at, as well as trying to help them get double Spire so that they can build both upgrades at the same time in the late game. But I feel like this will just cause gimmicky things to happen in ZVP where Zerg players will try to do surprise Mutalisk builds all the time now, which sucks a lot. So I don't like this change, even though it's just a very minor buff, right? Like, it's a very minor buff, but it's going to just... You don't have to make a big buff to something in StarCraft 2 to make people want to use it, right? Like, you could reduce the cost of a unit by 5%, and it would make everyone playing that faction build a lot more of that unit. Even if it's just like a 5% cost reduction, right? The centrifugal hook coming back to the Baneling, the HP. I think this is good. We saw the complete and total removal of the Baneling from ZVT when it was an ultra iconic unit previously. So this is good. I'm glad they kept this. They've kind of kept every change. It's just that they've added more. So the blue changes are the new changes, right? Microbial Shroud reduces all range damage by 50%. I've played against this. It is very strong, like very incredibly strong. So they're increasing the mana cost from 75 to 100, so it'll be much more difficult to have more than one Microbial Shroud per infestor. And now it requires an upgrade again, which is 150. This feels fair. This feels fair. I'm cool with these changes. I'm cool with Zerg getting all these buffs. This gives them new things to play with. And this is what I've sort of always advocated for from balance patches. Please buff things so that we can try new stuff instead of nerfing things and making it so that we cannot do things that are cool and fun, right? That's cringe, right? That's cringe when they remove things and make you have less options. Add things and give us more options. It's very simple. I don't really understand the mentality of like chopping cool things off of a faction to make them feel more fair and balanced to play against. Like, that's terrible, right? That's terrible. Okay, Protoss. So we're keeping the energy overcharge nerf. I'm fine with this. I think it's still relatively good, especially because they're also coinciding this nerf with a buff to the cooldown. So it's going to restore less energy over time, but have a shorter cooldown. It still costs mana, so you're still losing chrono boosts, which really sucks when you use energy overcharge instead of a chrono boost. But not the end of the world. Mothership HP has been reduced. Okay, fine. Mothership movement speed has been reduced drastically. Wow. This is actually like, let's just reveal all the changes. This is like a big nerf. But I kind of like it because it means that your mothership won't like float in front of your army as easily. It will kind of like follow your army. Like you're going to tell your army to go somewhere and the mothership will kind of like be behind your army instead of with it and in front of it, which will make it accidentally not get sniped as often, which is cool. They're keeping the amount of damage per tick on Psystorm at 5, but the duration, Psionic Storm duration increased from 0.39 to 0.5. What? What? They must have said this wrong, right? This is not. They didn't update that, right? The duration went from 2.8 to 8.5, I think. What the heck happened here? But they're increasing the radius drastically. This is really strong. And just because I can... Oh gosh, the AI is murdering me. The AI is murdering me. Excuse me, sir. Sir? I need you to stop doing that. Okay, so this radius increase is massive. And they're reducing the duration slightly, but decreasing the period count. So the period count is how often it does damage. It does 5 damage per tick at 0.79, and now it's going to be at 0.39. And the period count is being increased from 6 to 12. So if we have a Templar, right, you can see the radius is massive now. It is a massive increase to the radius of the Templar. The Disruptor, from what I understand, is not updated yet, but that's like the previous range of 1.5. And that's what a Storm used to look like, guys. That's what a Storm used to look like. And now it looks like this. This is a massive increase, okay? So this is what a Storm used to look like. And this is what a Storm looks like now. And previously, Storm did 80 damage, right? Previously, Storm did 80 damage. Now, it does way more. Way more. 50 more damage than it used to do. Because it used to only do 80. So it's a pretty significant change. Pretty significant change, right? Excuse my bad scene transitions here. So this went from being a tremendous nerf, right? This went from being a tremendous nerf to being a tremendous buff. So it seems really strong. This like seems really insanely strong, right? Is Rotterdam still I don't think the tournament games are still happening. That's crazy. So this went from Storm being nerfed into being legit dog shit to Storm being buffed into being like really strong. They're keeping the Dark Templar buff. Cool, awesome, love it. They're keeping the surveillance mode nerf and the radius increase. Cool, whatever, I don't care. Don't leave your observers in surveillance mode. You just don't even want to do that at all anymore because they're going to reveal themselves, which is absurd. Maybe the only value... Yeah, Goomba, you're an absolute moron. This is not a nerf to F2 Protoss, you fucking moron. This isn't a nerf to F2 Protosses. Like, this isn't a nerf to Protoss F2ing. Are you fucking... It's not a nerf to F2ers, you absolute moron. Shut up. This is just a nerf to this unit at every level of play for everyone, okay? For every level of play, for everyone, this is a nerf, okay? This isn't just a nerf to F2ers. You're fucking coping out of your mind. And the purification radius of the disruptor has been increased from 1.5 to 1.75. The cooldown has been reduced. And I like this because the disruptor is not one-shotting marauders, roaches, stalkers. I guess it's still one-shot stalkers. So this is a buff to the disruptor, but it's going to make it way better in PvP, right? It's way better in PvP. And like I said, we don't have the indicator anymore, but we had the indicator and everybody can see it. So this is a buff. I like it. Cool, awesome. Let's buff Protoss more, thank goodness. And then the Terran changes are the same, but they're walking back the gas cost reduction on the Viking, which I think is a good thing because Vikings are really good. And the Liberator's sight has been reduced from 10 to 9, so this is a slight nerf. I don't think that this is going to change how the Liberator works at all, because when it lands the giant siege circle, it can see the entire circle because the circle itself gives it vision. Okay. So, I don't know, bro. Like, these are like... This storm change is like a massive buff now. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy that they went from like, ha ha ha, this is useless, to ha ha ha, this is quite possibly incredibly overpowered. This is like a huge flip-flop. I don't think they'll be able to keep this. This is like insane. This is like actually insane. Can a Templar hit a tank without dying now? No, I don't think so. I don't think it's that big. They added more bug fixes. Fixed an issue where the mothership had a leftover psionic tag. The weapon behaved erratically when targeting changelings. It was unable to designate and maintain the correct number of targets for target firing, including during movement. Oh, cool. Fixed an issue where the mothership's target acquiring process would cause it to overly prioritize low priority targets, such as larvae. And they fixed an issue where its range was less than intended. Dude, in my opinion, this is just a bunch of buffs to the mothership, bro. Like, this is like, all of these were bugs with the mothership, and they just buffed it. That's crazy. Updated the Protoss AoE UI indicator. Fixed an issue where units with beam attacks would conflate each other's cooldowns. What does that mean? Fixed in issues where probes would become unresponsive near simulators. Oh! Yes! They fixed the assimilator glitch with probes! Yes, they could have done literally nothing else and only this, and I would have been so happy. Fixed an issue with psionic storm ticks where applying incorrectly, causing unintended reduced damage. Holy crap. Fixed an issue where units unloaded out of transports would not reset their acquired targets to the closest units. Add-on build commands would be issued to the same barracks repeatedly rather than spread out. Fixed an issue where hitting the key to construct an add-on twice could result in the production structure lifting. What the heck, dude? I didn't even know things were like this were a bug. Fixed an issue where visual effects from abilities could be seen through the fog of war. Parasitic bomb and stim pack. Pog. Fixed an issue where the disruptor lacked an AoE indicator. Fixed an issue, a visual effect from abilities that could not be seen even when large portion of the models were well within vision radius. Guardian Shield, Microbial Shroud. Fixed an issue where stasis wards had no pre-placement visual indicator or sound. Liberators could designate an attack target while morphing from anti-ground to anti-air, but not while morphing from anti-air to anti-ground. Oh, that means you're going to be able to shift Q the Liberator to attack things while it's sieging up. The Liberator commanded to siege an area inside their range could result in slower execution than being commanded to siege outside their range. The model for Zerg's 6x6 rocks was set to be too large for its footprint. Fixed an issue where Ravagers would glide along the ground if told to move command after issuing a corrosive bile. No! I thought this was so funny and cool that the Ravager would, like, smoothly skate along the ground when you would give it move commands after biling. No! It's an anti-quality of life fix. Fixed an issue where no target impact animation was present for corrosive biles. They upgraded the sound effects for microburst. This is a crazy amount of bug fixes. Man, did you guys ever think that we would get another amazing patch for StarCraft 2? I sure didn't. I sure fucking didn't. Damn, that's crazy, dude. That's fucking crazy. Man, does Protoss deserve all these buffs? Does Protoss deserve all these buffs? That's crazy, bro. All right, well, let me know what you think down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. I think this is a crazy, crazy, crazy turnaround. Like, remember 20 minutes ago when Hup wanted to publicly execute the patch guy? I didn't say that I wanted to publicly execute. I said I wanted to see, like, the reasoning. You remember when they used to have, like, the little subtext boxes where underneath a change they would be like, hey, this is why we're doing this, and we want it to sort of do this thing, you know? Like, I miss that, you know? I miss that a lot. That's what I want back, is, like, those little subtexts. Like, this is why we're making this change, you know? Like, that's what we want to see, right? That's crazy, dude. Nah, Hump, you did good. We see the results. Oh, that's wild, bro. That's fucking wild. Holy